Phil Dawson, work for installation support, and I'm the DLA Resiliency Champion. I had a main event happen about 2010, and in that particular event, my wife and I weren't communicating well, and she decided that she was no longer interested in our marriage and had an affair, and that was pretty hard on me. It was hard for me to understand because I didn't see it coming, and it really rocked my boat. It set me back. It gave me a real shock because I didn't have any idea that she was unhappy. You go through a lot of thought process. You have a range of emotions, from depression to anger. You have a lot of questions. What did I do right? What did I do wrong? What could I have done differently? So once you get through that initial shock, I think this goes along the grieving process as well, when you have a traumatic event happen in your life. I would say that took about 6 to 8 weeks to really get through that initial shock and go through the rage and the anger to try to understand, what really was happening. Once I got over the initial shock and took that step backwards, I reached out to the employee assistance program that we have here in DLA. So it gave me an opportunity to sit down and discuss what had happened to me. It was a huge burden, and once I was able to talk about it, that burden was lifted off of me. It was a huge weight. I think it's important that you have an opportunity to talk to people. And the employee assistance program had a counselor here in the building that I could reach out to, and then set me up with a counselor close to where I lived, and then I had my sessions with them. And that gave me an opportunity for my wife and I to work through the issues and then decide what was the next step. And in this case, my wife wasn't interested in repairing the marriage or fixing the marriage, and so we ended up having a divorce. I also needed those resources to figure out, okay, what's the next step? How do I reach out to my children? How do I inform them? And that allowed me to also reach out and identify my other network that I have, my friends, my family, my pastor. Who is it that you surround yourself with that gives you true guidance and helps you through these types of events that you have? You really need to have somebody to support you. It's never too late to identify what resources we have available as DLA employees before you need them. Maybe if I would have known some of the resources, I could have had better relationship, better communication skills, so I wouldn't have been in a situation where I would have needed counseling and go through the divorce situation. We have established a lot of resources for our DLA employees, especially for those that are distanced from one of the main primary level field activities. If you go to the website, we have a DLA Resiliency website. We also have the J8 Wellness Road to Wellness, and they have a website as well with resources. We have the Employee Assistance Program. We have Work Life for You. So we have a lot of resources that you can reach out and you can be confidential. You can talk outside of the work if you have a need that arises outside of work. These are on the public side of our website, so you can reach out and do this from home. You don't have to do it from work, but it's good. There's a lot of good resources.